Good afternoon, as it's here, or evening, morning, depending on where you are. Welcome to another FrodoNL stream. And today we're gonna do another one of our Let's Play all versions of a game that we can find streams. And in this case I went for Frogger. The reason I went for Frogger is because for the Coco Talk this week the high score challenge was Froggy, an unofficial version of Frogger. And I decided to have a look at how many official versions were out there. Now, I will probably have missed one or two versions, but we will see a total of 26 versions spread over 21 systems, including, of course, the original arcade version, which we will start. Most of the games will be played on my MiSTer. There are 3 versions though that will be done on emulation because they just are not able to run on the MiSTer as is. Frogger is an old game. From 1981, if I remember correctly. Of course, I had my stats and I can't find them now. But, well, I'm sure everyone knows Frogger or at least has seen them at some point. We will go to our MiSTer version, the MiSTer screen, and there we will see that the arcade version is already running in the background in its attract mode. And I hope that it will also have audio. We'll see that in a moment. Yes, it does have audio. My plan is to play all versions at least through the first level with a maximum of 5 tries if a version is really hard. And then see how far we can get, basically. The arcade version, it's a classic. I doubt I need to explain it, but yeah, for those who might never have seen it, you have a frog, and for some reason the frog cannot swim, so you have to cross first the road. That makes sense, but then you have to cross the water without touching the water, cause yeah, poor froggy cannot go into the water. There are a few extras. You can pick up the lady frog to score extra points. You also score based on the time left. And sometimes you get a fly that you can catch in your landing spot. That also scores extra, but we haven't seen that yet. We'll see if one shows up soon. Okay, first level. Not a big problem. That doesn't mean I always make it, but you're not allowed to hit any of the cars, and be careful because one can also hit them from behind if one doesn't pay attention. Now we get crocodiles involved. And you're not allowed to go into a landing bay where there is a crocodile showing. You are allowed to go on the crocodiles, but only on their backs. Hey Curtis, yes indeed. It's a bit weird that the frog cannot swim, eh? It doesn't make sense really, and that was stupid. Welcome in, Curtis. Yes, you can see I started with the arcade version. That's where it all started after all, so I thought it made sense to start with that one. Exactly, Buck, or Steve. And that was a bad jump. I'm not the best player ever in this game, but I enjoy it. Well, and suddenly sometimes it speeds up for some unknown reason. That was bad timing. Yes, Yeti jumps in the water at the end. Hi, Buck. But we know a little thing about that we'll show later, as you know. So, well, I'll try once again on this one, cause I know I should at least made it through the second level too on this version. I tend to go for the leftmost landing place first. So I have that out of the way at least, because I always find that the hardest to do. So how are you guys doing? I don't have to ask if either of you ever played Frogger. I know the answer to that. Hey Ashes! Welcome in. I'm doing good, how are you? I'm assuming, Ashes, you also know the game Frogger. I don't have to explain it to you, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's your breakfast time now, I guess, Curtis. And that was stupid. Yeah, you're at a bit of a different time zone than Curtis. Let me think, is it 2 AM there or something? That was a bit of a late jump, but I made it, thankfully. Can I make that? Yes. Okay, I'm just double checking something because I'm getting some messages in and I want to be sure that it's not something really important. No, okay, it's okay. Just making 100% sure. Okay, I set a maximum of 5 credits. I set them in, so I played again. You will be fed up with this music by the end, of course. Ah, thanks for the follow, mate. Yeah, I do all kinds of retro games, mostly 80s and 90s stuff. That was stupid. Yeah, it's one of those very early games that it's still... it's just playable, you know? There's no question about it. It's easy to learn. The idea is simple. And it's ridiculously addictive. Contra, that's a bit different. But yeah, I know Contra of course too. I think Contra is earlier, but I'm sure Curtis or Buck will correct me in that. They are more historians than I am. Yeah, I started a bit earlier. My first gaming experience was in 1981 on the ZX80. Very limited then. And then after that I went to the ZX81. And then the ZX Spectrum from 1983. And that was stupid. I looked away at the wrong time. But yeah, that was the arcade version. Well, as I said, we are gonna do 26 different versions on 21 different systems, which automatically means that there are some systems that have multiple versions that we will see. And the first one is, well, one of the older consoles. We start with the console versions. The Atari 2600. Now, basically, most of us know the Atari 2600 as a console with cartridges, and well, this is the kind of graphics you often see. Oh, Ashes, there are a lot of retro streamers if you know where to look. There are quite a few good ones on there. This is the version that most of us would have played back in the day. As you see, the graphics aren't very special. The sound is okay-ish. My timing is completely off on this one, because this is completely different speed than the other one. I believe it, Buck. A lot of people did. I personally didn't have a 2600, but I know enough people who did have one. I'm in trouble, I think. Yeah, I am. Duh. Well, thankfully nowadays we have emulators, and as I'm using here, the things like the MiSTer FPGA, which allows us to still play these old games. The timing on this one is so irritating. I don't know the timing on this game, on this version at all, and that's noticeable. But it was a decent version. Yeah. Yes, but we are going to do something else on the Atari 2600, because this is one of the systems where we have two versions. And for the other version, we have to go to emulation mode. Thankfully, I have that available too. And this used something called the supercharger, and I'm pretty sure Buck knows a bit more about what exactly supercharger did, but one of the things that it allowed was for people to load games from cassettes. Because when Frogger came out on the arcade, the licensing for console and computer versions were a bit messily handled. Sega sold the licenses for the cartridge versions to, I think it was, I hope I say it right around, to Parker Brothers, while it sold the license for the versions on magnetic media, so cassette or diskette, to Sarah Online. And on some systems you could do both cartridges or tapes or discs, So both of those companies would bring out versions. And for the Atari 2600, that's the first one where we see that, where there was a supercharger cartridge and that allowed a tape version too of the game. And that looks graphically quite different, as you will see. And I have to hit the right key. I hope the audio isn't too loud. I think it is a bit louder than it should be, so I will correct that quickly. But as you can see, the graphics are quite different. When I saw it the first time, I could hardly believe this was the same system. But the difference with the cartridge version is so big in this. Yes, but they still had to trace the beam, eh? And in the cartridges, most of the memory, because you could add RAM to the cartridge if they wanted, but most didn't. But yeah, for 2600 this is a very impressive version, I feel. It's also more playable. The timing is better than the other version, I feel. Let's say it's a ride on the Crocodile. That's true. That does make a difference. I agree, Curtis. Do I dare to wait? Yes, I do. I knew what you meant, Curtis. Ah, yes. That's not what you do, eh? Yeah. Mr. Crocodile. Hooey. As I said, you can jump on the back of a car. And of course, in this level we start to get the snake, because this is a very complete version of the game. And these cars are too damn fast. Time it better, Frodo, come on. There we go. Let's... No, we cannot get to fly. And yes, we get those irritating animals. I can't think of what they are supposed to be right now, but... Which means that you have to stay away from the edges. That was stupid. Otters, thank you. Couldn't think of the word. Yeah. But yeah, as you can see, that was quite a different compared to the other one. We actually are going back to the MiSTer now. Because the other two emulated games will be at the end of thing. And we go back to the MiSTer, we see the old graphics, which are quite a difference. Still a good game, but you will understand I prefer to play the tape version on this one. We go on to the Atari 5200. Now this cartridge we will see twice, more or less, because the handling is a bit different on the other system where we will see it. 5200 didn't have that many games made for it. It wasn't too popular, but... I can actually set it to slow or fast, but we'll leave it on fast. I'll be nice. And where was the start again on this one? Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I forgot. There we go. Now audio levels will be up and down somewhat in some of these games, because some systems have louder audio than others. Now this one has is one of those irritating games where you use the fire button to be able to wow the direction, because otherwise it won't move. But it's... You have to let go of the fire button every time in this one. So you keep the direction and then hit the fire button whenever you want to do the movement. Which is, to say the least, an irritating way to do it. But I guess it had to do with the fact that they also had some analog controls and you could accidentally hit the direction, but even so. But one sees the difference compared to the 2600. Yes, you can if you have them available. I am just using standard joystick right now, so I'm in joystick mode. Hey, Mr. Lou, thanks for the bits. That was nice of you. I had to see what that noise was again. Thank you. We'll try one more time. Hey Lank, welcome in. Yeah, for those who don't know, we're going through all kinds of versions of Frogger today. 26 of them on 21 different systems. I'm doing fine. Trying to save as many Kermits as I can. Notice, by the way, that in this one there is no water at the landing spot in the end. There is water there and Frogger still can't swim. It's amazing. It's kind of funny, the small differences one sees, like this one. Yeah, I'm not gonna make that, of course. No, that's not enabled here, Lank. Wrong timing. I do use the analog stick, and sometimes even with the button I still make the mistake. That's better. And that wasn't. But you see, yeah, the 5200 version is a nice enough version. I've seen way worse in the past week. I have to check if there was something special. Yeah, I need a number keypad for this, and that means I have to set up a bit, because otherwise it won't work. You see the behind the scenes stuff. Okay. I use my trusted entity data Super Famicom controller for this. Now, let's see where exactly it is, because there's so many colleagues have. Okay, it's just in the default location. Once again, had Frogger. Colecovision clearly had some different graphics than the Atari had. But once again, have to. We better jump back here, because we're never gonna make that one. Nor that one. It's clear Ren isn't in yet, because otherwise I would have had a number of oopses already. So Lank, how much experience do you have with Frogger? You don't? Have you never played it? And the same question, of course, for Mr. Lou, but I think the answer there will be that you have played it. Which version did you play, Mr. Lou? Yeah, the CPC never got an official version, which is kind of interesting. Actually, there was also never an official Spectrum version. Duh, timing is everything. This is better, yeah. You have to jump relatively late in this one. Every now and again I forget that. But not that late. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I don't know why they didn't, but they never did. There is, of course, a Timex Sinclair 2068 version, which I will be playing later on. But the Spectrum never got an official version. There were a lot of clones, some better than others, but, well, today we're only doing official versions, so those ones we have to skip, because otherwise I would have included Froggy, of course. After the Colecovision, yeah, we go to the Magnavox Odyssey 2, or rather we start with the European version. So I have to change the system to Videopac. Do I have to change anything else? No. And we go for the European version of Frogger. Notice I specifically say the European version. Once again, audio is relatively loud, it seems, so... Now, this is an older system, of course. Yeah, I heard that about the TRS-80, but I didn't find a TRS-80 version available that I could run, but that one I had to leave out. I do have the Coco one, and we won't talk too much about that one yet. Curtis, you and me both, and half of humanity these days. Okay, as you can see, this one, and I didn't realize I was already playing. I thought I had a chance to start, but yeah, it's an older system. It of course predates the Atari 2600 by a bit, even, I seem to remember. Nope. It's going in blocks, that's clear. Okay, next frog. The sounds are also not that special, really, if we're honest. But yes, it was an official version. Ah, I jumped too far there. There's something interesting about this version, which I'm gonna show now. In most Frogger versions, you can only jump a short way, but here you can jump over approaching cars. If you time it correctly. Yeah, there is indeed that problem at the moment. Yeah, you have that issue, of course. I have it set to 60 Hz on my MiSTer. And this is a very irritating thing in this game. It allows you to land between the thingies, and sometimes you, because of that, miss a jump. Yeah, I know. That's something that is a shame, but yeah, I can't really... But yeah, as I said, you can jump over cars in this one. As far as I know, this is the only official Frogger version where you can play that. Yeah, except there wasn't the US version for this one. Which is another interesting one, but I am gonna play the Brazilian version. Now, this looks very much the same. This should be 60 Hz, I think, in Brazil, so it should be a better video, but there is a different thing with this. The game basically runs exactly the same, but more fluent. The difference, though, comes when I come to the end. And this was something that I heard from Buck Owens. Where in every other version of Frogger, you either land in an opening or you land on water. In this one, you land on grass. It's a very weird difference. It makes sense, because a frog can perfectly land on grass or on water, but yeah. Also notice that the grass you already used is gone, so the frog itself is no longer visible, but it's just removed the grass. Ah, there was a crocodile there. I saw that too late. So for some reason they changed that. But only for this Brazilian version. For this specific system. Most of the versions I will be playing today are actually US versions. But I had to show the difference between the European and the Brazilian version on this one. Ah, took the wrong one, oh well. And this one specifically, the left one is very hard to reach. There, I landed in the middle between the two. Yep, I know, Mr. Lou. But yeah, so yeah, they for some reason changed that landing spot. Next we go to Mattell, to the Intellivision. Another old system, so we'll see how the graphics are on this one. And I have to check. Yep, I need a number keypad for this, and I probably have to set it up still. Yep, because that's per thingy. Right, left, down, up. Action up, action left, action right. Clear. Enter. Yeah, and these are the ones I need. No. Okay, that should be enough. Now I should be able to press 1 for player, 1 level. And then, was it... Which one was the start? There we go. Except that once again it doesn't move. What's the keys on this one? I had this working the other day, so it should be okay. Hey Brock. Yeah, at the moment it's not a fast, because for some reason this doesn't want to move me. Ah, wait a second. It wouldn't be. Yes, of course. Yeah, you have to swap joysticks. Yeah, and Intellivision, a very old system, of course, and well, it shows in the graphics, but It got an official version. Still, unlike the ZX Spectrum and the Amstrad CPC, for instance. I don't think I have to ask if you ever played Frogger, Brock. And how are you doing? It's also noticeable how certain versions have cut number of lines, either of cars or of in the water section, because of graphical issues, of course. Yeah, that's what I thought. Which versions did you play, Brock? There we go. Okay. Yeah, I started with the arcade one. The C64 version will come later, or rather the versions. Yeah, you gotta love this end screen in this one. For some reason that's the way it ends, and of course it's always the same, this one gets stuck. So, but yeah, the Intellivision did get a version. It's not my favorite one. And let's see if we can get rid of this one. Next we go to the Nintendo. Actually, let's go. Yeah, we go to a very new system, relatively. The Super Nintendo Entertainment System, the SNES, SNES, whatever you want to call it, got a version late on in its time. It was basically, if I remember correctly, it was the last. I got it here, not there. It was the last official cartridge that came out in the US, I think, for the SNES. And well, graphics got a lot better over time, as you can imagine. Also, we have to see a lot more names by now. One player is enough, I guess. They actually tried to make it look somewhat perspective with the cars and everything. It's quite a change after the Intellivision we just saw. I agree, Buck. It's not my thing, but it's an official version, so I had to include it. If I have to choose, I would prefer the graphics of, for instance, the 5200 over this anytime. They queued it all up. The game still plays the same. It's perfectly playable, but it just doesn't look nice to me. Maybe to a bit more modern gamers it looked interesting, but nah, this is not the look I would want. Notice this defaults to, or rather it only has a mode which in other versions would be called slow mode. Look at that crocodile there, it's just, no. Exactly, Curtis. This is not a modern game, it shouldn't look modern, eh? Apart from the graphics, it's basically a perfect conversion, but the graphics, no. I could have forgiven them if they had at least added the option of going for the original graphics, because this could easily do the arcade graphics, more or less. But nope. No option. You can actually outrun those cars. In most versions, most cartridge versions at least, you can't. Stupid crocodile, go away. And that was just a bit off. Another crocodile, damn it. Timing is everything, eh? And all those nice texts. Try not to croak. Ah, humor. It's just too cutesy. I won't make that one. I have to do it on this side. Let's take this one. Thank you, Curtis. I don't have a pun counter, otherwise I would have been updated now. Let's see if we can get that first one. Let's see what the timing is like on this. Not good yet. Ah, there it is. Ah, so funny. History. Yes, sure. This one is irritating. Preferably this way then. I guess I better change to the other log. Yeah, got 10 seconds. Oh, okay. I'm trying not to cut it as close as we did yesterday in stream together with Wen. When Wen finished one bomb with just over 1 second remaining. That was a bit too close. Worst part is, this is actually the version where I'm doing the best so far. In a way, it's irritating to me that I'm doing so this good at this version. But that also tells you that this was slowed down. It makes it easier to play. As long as one makes sure on that section there. So I'm guessing no one of you played this version before? Okay. Yeah, I didn't either, but... Hey, Wen! I knew you weren't in yet, because otherwise we would have had at least 5 or 6 oopses already. How are you doing? I knew you would do that at once. Now, standard NES, never got it. Okay, for some reason I suddenly got audio a bit different. I hope you still have audio. Let me check. I doubt it, because something went wrong there. Can you still hear me? Everyone? Yes, I still come through, but might be that... we'll see what happens here. The Game Boy got a version, and we hope that this works still. What is it? Frogger. Okay, yeah, the NES never got a version, but the Game Boy and the Game Boy Color did. Hi, Wise Doggo, welcome in. How you doing? So yeah, here we go with the Game Boy. So first the black and white version. With a way too large frog, basically. But that's something you will see in other versions too. Nah, I lost tons of quarters in arcade machines in the past, but I don't have any anymore. Okay, that's what I was afraid of. I see what happened. It lost connection to the MiSTer for a bit, so let's see if we can solve that quickly. Yeah. For some reason the video capture was gone. There we go. Do you still hear the audio from the game though? Just to make 100% sure, I will grab this again. Yeah, for some reason the... Okay, then we'll hope that it works. Well, not at the moment, but okay, audio is fine. Okay. So let's try this again then. Now you see graphics too. And you see me die, but that was unavoidable in this case. But yeah, the Game Boy version, of course, normally on a way smaller screen. So if anyone is watching on the phone, you might get about the right size screen there. Oh, duh. It's more precise than that, Frodo. Of course, the MiSTer had very limited... the Game Boy had very limited graphical capabilities. Black and white with a little bit, what was it, 4 or 8 gray levels. But given the limitations, this is not a bad version. It's playable. I just wish the fork was a little bit smaller, but oh, I forgot to switch that off. Could you switch that off for me, Wen? You should be able to, I think. Okay, thank you. I completely forgot about that. I remembered to switch the game back to retro, but I forgot to do that. Yeah, this stream is not co-streamed by Wen, although I would love to see her play some retro games. I think she would enjoy them, but... Oh, come on. That brings a question, Wen. Have you ever played a version of Frogger on any system whatsoever? You rage quit? Never. You never rage quit anything. You always finish games at 100%. We know that. Okay, that was some... Then chances are that it's... Well, either a clone or it was arcade version that was somehow made available online. Oops. But yeah, that was the Game Boy version. We actually go for... On the same... Also, we go for the color version too, which should be in... No, not in here. Now I have to check how we do that again. Ah, yes. Was almost there. Yeah, I know those ones, yeah. So yeah, you will have played those kind of games. The Game Boy Color got, well, basically the same version, but with small differences, because it actually had colors. They decided this game was perfect to show the colors of the Game Boy Color. The only question is then, why did they go for certain colors? Once again, of course, realized this was on a very small screen. But yeah, I don't think there are many people that have never seen Frogger at all in some version or other. There are actually versions, I think, for some of the more modern PlayStations and the Xbox 360, I think. But those are not within my capabilities to simulate or emulate, so. We wait calmly. As I was just saying, I will try not to cut it as close as we did yesterday when towards the end. Or was it 1.6 seconds or something like that for you? Yeah. You won't forget that quickly, yeah? Yeah, mine was, what was it, 5.55 or 5.54, something like that. As you see, they went for the same text and such as on the SNES version, which came out later. Hi, 48K RAM. No, Coco version will come later because I started with the arcade and then the console versions. So the Coco will come by too, as will the to you well-known Atari 8-bit versions. Both of them. Now, can I get that last one? Yeah, I'm only playing official ones. Which is why I had to include the SNES version I played shortly before this. Part of me wishes I didn't have to, but I want to be as complete as I could be. But yeah, I leave out the clones, which means that I won't have a Spectrum version, for instance. Nor an Amstrad CPC version. If you ever look back at that at the VOD 48K RAM, you will see that that SNES version is just too cutesy, too modern in many ways, including it being too easy. But yeah, this for the Game Boy and Game Boy Color in this case. Could have been a lot worse. They made a decent version. This is Game Boy Color. Oh yeah, there were clones on everything. There were tons of clones on the Spectrum too. Just never an official version. Ah. And same with the CPC. come on. Yeah, there were a lot of pretty bad ones, but we also had Froggy, of course, Curtis, and that actually I found was pretty good. Okay, I think that concludes, yeah, that concludes the console section. So we go to the home computers. And there we start with a system I don't often get to run, Apple IIe. And I have to check if I have to do something special for that. Nope. There are two listed here, but they are the same version. And I went for the one that worked best. Which one was that? Yes, old-fashioned on paper. The Sarah Online version, yes. So that's... No. There's no Sarah Online version. Apple IIe. Sega, that's the one. Okay, yeah. And then I had to... I think it loads automatically then, if I remember correctly. Yeah. I hope you still see something there. Well, not at the moment, but yeah, okay. Does it have any notes about keys? No, then it's probably joystick. Ah, I could define keys, that's why. Okay. But we can also play with joystick, so we do joystick in this case, if it wants to react. Yes. Apple IIe. Of course, a very early system for a home computer. And I can only use the analog stick, of course, in this. Duh. Sometimes I think you like that too much, Ren. I know, I know. I know. Graphically, of course, not the most interesting, but, well, that's due to the age of the system. I'll check back on what exactly Curtis and Buck are talking about. Nice one, Mr. Lou. Is that why you started with 100 bits, so you knew that you would have given enough for all the deaths, hopefully? Okay, let's see what exactly, because a clone called Ribbit on the Apple II. Yes, I remember Ribbit, I've seen it. But, yeah, well, the problem is, of course, we go with official versions only here, and this was an official version. Next, we go to the Atari 800. Okay, now here we have once again two versions. I'll start with the cartridge version, which I think would be here. And this is nearly exactly the same as the one on the 5200, except that the control is a little bit better, a bit different. Also just as irritating. audio is a lot lower, I notice. I will have to change that every now and again per game, per system. I once again have to press the fire button, but only when I change direction I have to do that. After that, as long as I move in that same direction, it works. Until I move to left or right, then I have to do it again to be able to go forward. While on the 5200, I constantly had to use the fire button. So at first I thought it was the same cartridge, but it turns out there is a slight difference. Yeah, that was of course wrong. I have to remember to press the fire button every now and again. And I have this set to fast mode, and this is not as easy as the SNES version, I must say. Oops. Oh, come on. Yeah, was never gonna make it that way. But okay, so this is the one version, of course, the cartridge version. Yeah, it is a lot faster than the arcade version. You can actually change it to slow, but I don't know what the key is on the Atari 8-bit. On the 5200 I knew it, but on this one I don't. I haven't been able to find. But we also, first have to reset, have a disc version, and now I have to look up where exactly that is. That is a ATR. Okay. If only we had a few things to go to, and it was this one, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, this one is a bit of a trick with getting it to boot. If I did it correctly, it should work. Looks quite different. And that's what you get with two different companies doing the versions. I thought I had to just... Is this another one of joystick switching? No. Why does it not want to start? Ah, wait a second. Optional select. Yeah, that's what I thought, but... Is it swap joysticks? Nope. F6 then. Yep, F6. Thank you, Buck. I wasn't sure about this one. Once again, a fast version, but quite different from the other version. I'm just glad I get things to work by now. Yeah, you can change it to slow mode. That's probably one of the other function keys then, but I don't know which one. And well, it's doable in fast mode most of the time. Ah, wrong timing. Thank you. And then I did that just the moment I saw that. After I saw that out. Ah. That was too risky. Let's take a bit of a break here. Notice also this version has more different melodies in here than the cartridge, than the cartridge version did. It's if I had to choose between the two, I would probably choose this one over the cartridge version. You can't really hear the game sound. Oh boy. 1 second. Can I pause this? Nope. That's okay. I thought it was... Okay. No, start didn't pause, but Curtis says he can hear it okay. Then... I do specifically set the audio of the game lower because otherwise a lot of people have problems understanding what is being said if the music is in between, but... Oh, there's a snake there too, I didn't realize that. Whoops. Got lucky there. Okay, mate. Have a good look and thanks for coming by. And hope to see you again soon, of course. Oh, come on. That snake on that log is irritating. Nope. Just made that one. Could be Curtis. I think Wen is also on her phone, so she will also... Game over. So yeah, this was the second system where we saw two versions of it. Are you on PC? Okay, how's the audio levels for you, Wen? Okay, thank you. It may be that 48K RAM wants me less audible, so has the volume a bit lower. Couldn't blame him for that. So yeah, the C64 once again had two versions. And we will start once again with the cartridge, which should be in here, I think. Yes. As you see, there are a lot of there's clones here too, but we go for the official Frogger. Once again, Parker border, of course, and for some reason, why do I not get a picture? I may have to reset my MiSTer, reboot it, and hope that everything stays working after that. Yes, it does. That's good at least. That sometimes happens with certain cores that leave a bit too much behind. That's better, yeah. There we go. So yes, it's once again the Parker Brothers, so it has similar look. Once again, it has the fast and slow mode, and not quite sure which ones they use here. Probably F1 to start. Yeah, okay. Let's leave it in fast mode. I think that audio might be a bit loud, but if it isn't, if it is, just let me know, cause it comes through quite a bit louder than the other ones. Okay. It sounds louder than the other one, so that's why I wondered. Okay, thank you. Interestingly, in this one, I can switch between fast and slow during the game. That's not the case in all versions, what I've seen. Go away, Crocodile. Just in time. Okay. Perfect then. That's a bit of a problem, of course, with multiple systems. Every system has its own setup, and there are differences in audio levels. That was stupid. If Wen doesn't do an oops for that, I will have to do it myself, because that was really stupid. Of course, it has the typical issue that I have with a lot of C64 games. A lot of green and brown. Notice when I play it in slow mode that the sound is a bit cut off. Oh no, it's the same, okay. That was cutting it a bit close there, but it worked in the end. Oops, too risky. We wait. Ah, thought I could still make it. Nope. But yeah, so that was the first C64 version. The cartridge. We get rid of the cartridge. And we should get a version on disc somewhere here. If only there were a lot of games and stuff for the C64. Once again, by the way, you see there's a lot of variations on there. Frog, Froggy, Frogger 93, Frogger 6, 64, of course the Frogger 2 games, but yeah. And this should go this way to load. And then we get a share online product instead of the thing. And interesting, for a US version, it actually allows me to redefine the keys without even asking me, or making me ask for it. Fast or slow? Let's go fast. Yes. Once again, this version is very different from the cartridge version. Yes, it uses the same basic melody, but it just sounds completely different. The graphics look different. It plays different. Oops. Ooh, I thought that was the other one. Let me do it this way. I've been known to be better at timing than that. Oh, that was the wrong one. But yeah, those differences between the cartridge and disc or tape versions are so big at times. Now, we had the Atari earlier. If I remember correctly, there were even there is a story that there is even another version for the Atari, but I couldn't find that one. There was a bit of confusion about that one, where there was two different cassette versions. The VIC-20 got the same treatment. Once again, two versions. Now I have to think. Was it this one? No. Oh, come on. What was it again? That was all. Yeah. Yeah. This was joystick only, I think. VIC-20, of course, once again, a system with less graphical options than the later C64. Was of course a limited system, given once again what they did in the cartridge isn't bad, but it's not the most fun play ever. And once again, you can land between things, which in the original arcade version you could never do. And I really don't like the timing on this one. If you look at the movement, you will see that basically they are doing character cell moves. It's not pixel moves. Now I have to hope that I remember how to do this. No, it doesn't. So I have to reload the core. Because otherwise, and this was a VIC-20, yeah, a D64, yep. I have prepared, but I don't remember everything by heart. Once again, you see there's a lot of clones around, but we go for the original official one. It takes its time. There was nothing special I needed to do with that one. There we go. As you can see, this looks completely different than the cartridge version once again. It also sounds completely different. I think I prefer the cartridge version sound in this one. Another interesting thing in this version is that once they dive, not all of them dive at the same time, unlike in the arcade version. I wanted to make that. Do I still have time? Not really, but no. Ran out of time. Ah. It's kind of funny. For the graphics, I would prefer this version, despite the weird color pink there. But for the sound, I would prefer the other version. Next, it was mentioned before that there wasn't a Spectrum version nor a CPC version. But for some reason, there was an MSX version. Which should have been easy enough to convert, one would think, but... Ah, I'm already there. Indeed, there is bug, but yeah, I know there is. But you know, we're going for the official versions only right now. But yeah, that version 407 is very good. It takes a bit to load. I guess nice blue isn't ugly, but I hope it's still loading. I'm not impatient at all, but in the meantime. I don't remember it taking this long last time. No? Doesn't look like this is working. Let's try this again. Okay, I think there's... should be that one. Have changed any settings? No, that all looks good. We'll give it a try. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It should be the same. As I said, I have tested it and it did work in the past, but... Nothing special I had set, no. No, I guess we'll have to skip this one then. That's a shame. But it does mean we go to a system a lot of us also know these days. And there we go to the standard directory, Frogger. I have to be careful not to start Froggy instead, since I'm so used to that from the past week. But we go for the official version. Okay, Ren, take your time. Hi, Mr. Cola. Welcome in. We're one needs an R to run it. Exec is more useful. I think, yeah, keys looks better. Compared to Froggy, which we've been looking at earlier this week for the Coco Talk, and I put the volume down a bit. This is so much less good. What were the keys again on this one? Ah, cursor, okay. Froggy is so much better. Nearly, yeah. Yeah, you missed the arcade version. I started with that one, of course, because, well, you start with the original, of course. Oops. Probably need this one. Nope. Yeah. There we go. How did I miss that one? I was sure I made that jump correctly. Yeah. It's a bit sensitive though, as you can see. will play it one more time though, because I want to at least make it through the first level. Yeah, this is an official version, but not the best version ever. I guess that thing in the left is supposed to be a fly. The music is pretty good for basically 1-bit music, because that's what it is, of course. Ah. But yeah, this is not the version you want to play every day. Sometimes you have no choice, of course. Back in the day, if that was the only machine you had. Where is my... Oh wait, I have it down here. Yeah. Well, of course, we go for the single ZX81, and you will understand that means there are no... there's no sound. And this is in P. Yeah, okay, 6 bits, you're right. Unlike the Spectrum, which really only had 1-bit option. I have to remember, but thankfully I know that the J is low on Sinclair keyboards. You won't get any sound in this one, of course. ZX81 didn't have a sound card. There are options nowadays, but... Okay, Curtis, see you back later. I have a few machines to go still. 4 after this one. We wait calmly. I'm pretty sure it went fast on this. I may have... Okay, I'm just in case I'm gonna reboot the MiSTer and try again. See if that makes it different, because... Once again, this is one I tried before, so... It's kind of funny. Yep. Ah, yeah. I remember now. Duh. This should be 1, 2. They forgot to do an autosave on this one. Hey, Single Davy. Another quick hi and bye, eh? Yeah, we did somehow survive. Don't ask how, but we did. It was close at times. So what happened, they tried to save it in such a way that it auto-ran, but they forgot that, and... I played the C64 version, or rather both C64 versions earlier too, Davey. But yeah, it's all Frogger today. I'm doing the official versions that I could get my hands on today. Now, this has... Okay, 1 player. Let's go level 1. I think I have to go with the cursor keys, or was it... No. Do I have the keys listed here? Nope. That makes it interesting. I thought I had them written down, but we'll find them. Or did it joystick? No, it shouldn't be joystick. Ah, AZ. And then which one? And NM. Okay. Now QAOP was more a Spectrum thingy, less ZX81. But you see, this is not the most playable version. My timing is also not very good. It changed quite a bit from the original, to say the least. For some reason they added extra car lanes. Instead of the standard 5, or in some game versions you see 4. You go through a lot more here. And they added an extra lane here too. And all this without sound on good old ZX81. Even so, it's impressive what they did with the little machine. Oops. Exactly, given the limitations, it could have been a lot worse. It also has the same issue that Froggy actually has. I just noticed that, guys. This version 2 allows you to score for sideways movements. Oh, I thought that was a crocodile, but it was the insect. Oops. That's interesting. That's the first official version where I see that issue, that they score for sideways movements. And I think I see something else. Yes, you can't fall off on the side. There are some issues with this version. It's an interesting version, I guess, but I didn't have it back in the day. But yeah, so you can actually stay on the side there and wait for something to come up. Hey, just this is the ZX81 or the Timex Sinclair 1000. I'm still doing automatically going back and forth, even though I didn't need to in that one. Yeah, I go straight in front of the car. But yeah, for the machine it was quite impressive. And let's put it this way, had I had it back in the day, I probably wouldn't have said no to it. And I would probably have played it myself, actually. Then we go to the... I'm fine, how are you, Jost? We go to Texas Instruments, 1994A. And this has 2 issues, I know. I have to swap joysticks. I actually wrote that down. And I need to load it in 2 parts. First the G part. That's this one, part 1 of 2. And then the C part. And then I should be able, yeah, now it shows up, because otherwise it doesn't show up. Yeah, I'm okay, Just. Trust you are too. We are looking at all kinds of Frogger versions and said this is a Texas Instrument 994A. A machine that actually was pretty good for its time, I felt. This one is actually very playable. I think it looks pretty good too. Sound is a bit limited, but that's understandable. Okay, man. Yeah, it's also a bit different machine. This machine, I'm trying to think what the price was of this machine compared to the ZX81. I know we're talking a factor of 10 minimum, but probably a lot more than that in price difference. A friend of mine had this computer, and the only issue I had with it was that the BASIC, while pretty good, missed a poke and P command, so you couldn't do assembly yourself from that without the extended BASIC. So unlike the Commodore 64, where basically just about everything had to be done with pokes. Oh. Now it's probably a lot more expensive. Yeah, this is a TI-99. Sorry, yeah, 994A. Yep. Yeah, it looks a lot like it. Although this one plays a bit easier than the Colecovision. Oh, that was the wrong one. Ooh, just late. Yeah, graphics are quite good. Sounds okay. That they don't have music while playing, I don't mind. I hate that stupid snake in the middle there. Especially since I was off with my timing. Can't do anything here, so we go back. No. And that should be my last frog, I guess. Whoa, I can jump off. Jumps aren't the same in both directions. But yeah, pretty good version. From that we go to what's probably one of the worst versions given the system it's on. Where is it? There we go. Now, I have it preset, thankfully. Now, this was of course CGA, but even then, come on, guys. Yeah. I said F10. Oh, I can't at the moment. I'm gonna die automatically because it automatically went to the next one already. I tried running this on the original speed of the MiSTer 486 core. And you really don't want to see that. Or maybe you do. Does it? Okay, you have to touch it very short, because otherwise it won't work. Up, down, left, right. Yes. You can also do joystick and you can play no level, but okay, we will just go on any other. So this was the official IBM PC version, which has small jumps to the sides. You have points, Ren, eh? I kinda guess you did. But given that this won't be a very much longer the stream, you might want to save him. Because after this there's only 2 systems left. I know you love that you can do to me what I sometimes do to you. Of course, now I could change the value next time you need more, but no, that's not the way I am. What Ren is referring to with I have points is she wants to put me in my penguin onesie. Oh, sure. Jump too late. These small jumps are so irritating. I have to thank Buck Owens, by the way, for giving me some tips on this one, because I was unable to do the redefine of the keys, for instance, and I had originally done this with an emulator because there were some issues, as I said, with the speed on this game. It was programmed for the original IBM PC, which ran at 4.77 megahertz on an 8088 or 8086, depending on the exact versions you have. While the MiSTer emulates 486 SX, which is a lot faster, and then at what is it, 70 megahertz or something like that. Even if I slowed it down to the slowest speed, it was still not fast. It was still way too fast. But thankfully, Buck gave me the tip that you can switch off L1 and L2 cache and combine that with a bit higher clock speed, and then it suddenly works. Now for fun, for funsies, I will change the hardware to 90 megahertz because that's the maximum. Don't expect me to play this. The music still plays correctly. The rest we won't talk about. So I was... it's clearly programmed badly. They only assumed that it was... yeah, I got all kinds of things, but not this, Mr. Cola. There, 3 deaths. But I had to show it for once. The remaining 2 systems we are gonna do in emulation. So first I have to make sure that I have the right emulation up. Well, actually, we have to switch there. Where are we? Okay, we still have the Atari up there for earlier, but of course I have more options there. We go from the Atari to the Timex Sinclair 2068. Now this has interesting keys to play with. 1 is up, 2 is down, 9 is left, 0 is right. I guess that was something that happened more often on the 2068, but I'm not used to it, but well, I can do it. We leave the music on. Once again, a very large frog. They left out 1 lane of traffic, but that's not too bad. I wouldn't have minded had they brought this version to the Spectrum too, because there isn't that much in here that doesn't look doable in the Spectrum. Yeah, the music with the original Spectrum, no, but with the 128K you could do this. But for some reason they never decided to do this. It just feels as if I'm playing on a Spectrum, basically. Apart from the fact that I'm using an even better keyboard. Oh, by the way, Mr. Cola, I don't know if you noticed that yesterday for the first time since I stream, I did not advertise my stream on your Discord. I didn't feel it fit in there since I wasn't doing retro yesterday. Why did I die there? I jumped on top of it, I felt. But yeah, that was the Timex Sinclair 2080 version. And that means we are left with just 1 version, which is quite different. Now, why is it not showing up? Because I have to do this. There we go. We got a Macintosh version. This is another one I had to emulate for one reason only. The core on the MiSTer emulates a Mac Plus. This only works with the first 2 models of the Mac, not with the Mac Plus even. There are some more issues with it. I had, even though you can set it to do 1 player, it will always do 2 players for some reason. And after every play you have to redefine the keys. But apart from that, it's an interesting version, I feel. the Mac, the original Mac, is not exactly known for its games normally. So the fact that they actually brought out a official version of Frogger was kind of nice. Okay, there's no music, but it's very playable. And once I am finished with this one, I will do one more run on the arcade version. See if I can make a few levels at least to end the stream. Because that's of course still the real version. No matter how good some of the ports were. Despite the lack of color, I find this one a lot better, for instance, than the IBM PC version that we just saw. Oops, I hoped there would be one, but there wasn't. Ah, timing is everything. I want that first one first. I'm not doing well at the moment. I'm also getting distracted, I notice. But yeah, you notice we have two players, because for some reason, even though I clicked one player, it always goes to two-player mode. Sure, jump into the wall. But yeah, this is for an original Mac. I don't think this is a bad version. Don't know if any one of you ever played this version. Chances are no, but one never knows. Yeah, but that was one jump too far. Not a bridge, but one jump. Ah, a winning score, wow. But yes, that was the last of the ports, and we will go back to the arcade version, because that of course is the real thing, as I said. And I'll give myself a maximum of 5 credits and see how far I can get. Volume can go a bit higher, I think, on this one. Ooh. I'm surprised I missed that jump. Not my best moment ever. My timing is off after all the other versions. It feels good to be playing the original again. Let's see, does this work? Nope. Then we'll grab this one. Ah, come on. Yeah, the whole game, the music, everything is... Of course, you shouldn't make those kind of mistakes, but yeah, everything is just... It just works, it's a complete... Yes, some of the ports are good, but... This is the one I like to play most. Doesn't mean I'm good at it, but, well, we know that about my games anyway. I have to hold back from trying to sing along. Or hum along, because I don't want to do that to any of you. But it's so tempting. Okay, I missed that jump, I guess. Ah, damn, Crocodile. I thought it would be wood. We have a few more credits. I put a lot of quarters in this game back in the day. Not quite as much as I did in Centipede, that was really my game, but I played this a lot too. Let's do a bit of Yankee Doodle. Centipede was another arcade game back in the day when. The problem is if I want to play that on any system, I will always be disappointed because I don't have what's needed to be able to play Centipede decently, namely a tracker ball. A large tracker ball. Centipede, you shoot a centipede that comes down from the top of the screen. And I have played it on keyboard, I have played it with joystick, but it's just not the same experience. Trying to think, yeah, I have played versions of Centipede on streams before. My BBC version stream, for instance, had one, but that was a very bad one because you couldn't move up or down, or couldn't move up, you could only move sideways. We had a lot of games based on animals back in the day, and some actually even look like the animals in the game. Not all though. Yeah, Snake, but that came a little bit later. Oh, no Crocodile now. Thank you. Saved one and then made it so difficult for myself that I still ruined it. Well. Talking about snakes. Phew. I was surprised that worked. That was really close. Ooh. I know a number of people here in this chat who are a lot better at this game than I am. Bargoen, for instance, I know, and Froggy did a ridiculous, was it 100k, I think, Buck? Or Curtis will know. We have 2 credits left. I remember the machine that I played on back in the day. It was a quarter per game, but if you put a guilder in, and you remember the guilder, you got 5 games instead of 1 and 4. So that's why I'm still always doing, let's do 5 credits. I would always beg my dad for a guilder and a quarter. The guilder I would put in the Frogger machine back in that place, and then I would put the quarter in the jukebox. And basically always played the same song. Oops. I thought I could just do that jump, but turned out I couldn't. I would suggest when to try and guess what that song was, but you would never guess it anyway, so I'll just tell you, it was Arne Jansen, Meisjes met rode haren. I have no idea why I like that song so much, but yeah, back in the day I played that all the time in the jukebox. I know, I wouldn't play it nowadays anymore, but I was 4 or 5 at the time. Yeah, that was the time when we still were allowed to go into the bar with Dad, even though we were 4 or 5. Nowadays they frown on that, I think. The funny thing is, given my age, I probably didn't understand even what the song was really about. Because what does a 5-year-old know about how good girls with red hair are at kissing? Because that was basically what the lyrics were all about. Memories that come back due to a game. I'd completely forgotten about that. Yeah, I know the unofficial lyrics too, yes. But those I learned after I was 5, not when I was 5. My dad was somewhat protective. He wouldn't have allowed me to hear those lyrics. He probably would have avoided them for himself even, so... Now some people are wondering, but well, I guess they can somehow guess what would replace kissing in a song like that, yeah. Nope. Let me do this one. Nothing came. Once again, nothing came. And that was my last credit. Which means that we will end the stream with this. Thanks all for coming by. I had a lot of fun, although some versions were rather cringe-worthy to say the least. I hope everyone enjoyed it. And well, as I said, some of the games are actually quite good, some of the conversions, but the arcade is still the original one, and that will always be the one I prefer to play. Ah, Curtis, you just made it for the end. Yeah, sorry. Gotta eat. Oh yeah, it's 6:30 already. I hadn't paid attention to the time. Yeah, thanks all for coming by. Thank you, Wen. And yeah, everyone enjoy the rest of your day. Curtis, I'm pretty sure I will see in a bit. In about an hour and a half. And Wen I will see tomorrow morning. Because Wen, of course, streams music at 11 a.m. local time. Not yet, Curtis, not yet. It's a bit of a difficult one because if I want to do a cross-platform game test, I need to at least be able to play the game to some degree. And Frogger was a coincidence that I thought of that because of Froggy. But I'm not the best gamer, as you know, not at a lot of games. But it might be that I go for something like Pipe Mania, but that is a bit of a difficult one because that wouldn't be official versions, because there is no official conversion of that. But might be something like that, just to see what different systems did with that. I'm not sure yet. We'll have to wait and see. My next stream will probably be another first year off stream, but even that I don't know which system yet. Talking about my next stream, that will be Thursday at 10 p.m. Central European Time, aka 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hope to see you all back then, and I hope you have a good rest of the day. And in the meantime, let's see if we can rate someone. Now, let's see. I don't see anyone specific with retro, but I do have a friend that's... Let me see if he's still going. He was gonna do a 12-hour stream. What's he doing? Anything else? Because that's in French, and we don't want to do that. I don't think most of you want to go to a French stream at the moment. What else do we have? Do you have anything, anyone you would suggest, Wen? Or anyone else have anyone? I can go to Amiga Live, but that just depends on who happens to be streaming there. Let me have a look if there's anyone we don't know who's doing retro at the moment, who might be doing something interesting. How many viewers does this one have? Ah, he hasn't started yet. Okay. Could have been an interesting one. I prefer someone with a camera who's playing some retro games. This is always difficult finding maybe. Yeah, I have someone here who is playing NES Super Mario World, it looks like, with a camera, and he's started 23 minutes ago. Let's go right there. Once again, thanks all for coming by. Have to put the right name in. And see you all soon, I hope.